Hi, welcome to the new Pindler showroom at the New York Design Center on the 6th floor. I'm Yve, the showroom manager, and today Dennis and I, the account executive, will take you through a brief tour of our showroom and introduce some exclusive and new products. We actually just moved into the showroom during the height of the pandemic, so we're very happy to be nice and settled in our new home. Many of you who are longtime customers will be happy to see that Ginger is here with us and always ready to help us out with a gracious smile. As you enter our main area, you'll see that it's airy and spacious, allowing us to have several workstations for designers to lay out their schemes and their selections while still adhering to social distancing guidelines. Along this long, expansive wall, we have 11 categories, which include some of our exclusives, like our luxury wool collection, some of our first castle, and as we move down, we have some of our exclusive global prints and wovens, our damask upholstery, and then down to a popular category, our embroideries. And all of these are multi-purpose and upholstery weight, and we'll come back and touch on some of these a little bit later. And as we come towards the end, we have our cotton and cotton blends, and a very popular category, our linen and linen blends. And Pindler has an easy self-service wing system. Each color has multiple samples available. So you just take one off and we'll check it out for you. Nice, easy, and efficient. Across from our main wall, we have 3 additional bays of products. The first bay we have our contemporary prints, which lead into our faux suedes, faux furs, and our performance faux leathers, and our new collection of textured vinyls. The next bay is the continuation of our prints collection, starting off with our smaller prints and gradually goes into the larger scale, which includes our exclusive Printworks collection, which has been doing very well. It wraps around over to our traditional prints and then into the beginning of our extensive upholstery weight fabrics. Continuing on, this bay displays one of our most popular categories that many designers know us for, our upholstery weight fabrics. This includes chenilles, textured wovens, a wide variety of performance fabrics that exceed 50,000 double rubs. Takes us over to this side where we have our checks, plaids, and stripes, which coordinate very well with our upholstery weight fabrics. In this section, we have our solid velvets, which include multi-purpose and upholstery, which leads us into our next category, which is our indoor-outdoor solid textures, and leads us back into our back room, where we have our large-scale pattern indoor-outdoor and some of our exclusive, including architecture and our Pendleton, and brings us around to our drapery and extensive sheer collection. Here I'll pass it on to Dennis, our account executive, who will highlight some of our exclusive and new products.
Well, hi, I'm Dennis Yve. I am the account executive for Pindler in the New York region. Yve had mentioned me earlier. She had shown the layout of the showroom. I'm going to start to show a little bit more of the product itself and how it's housed here and displayed. Yve ended up here in the shear section, so we'll start right there. One of the products that a lot of designers come to us for are wide width shears. We have a pretty good variety of them. As you can see here, we have a number of solid options. These happen to be 118 inches. Typically they're a linen blend. There's some polyester blends, but I will go through those and just give you some ideas of some of the textures, some of the tints we call it, as well as some of the colors. We have some patterned ones, but once again, they're all wide width, whether it be 118 up to 130 inches in some cases. Here's some stripes. And I do have some I want to show on this table here to give you a little bit of a better idea to single some out. For example, this is a new addition from our Platinum collection, which I'll get touched on more. This is part of an overall bigger, larger collection, but these happen to be wide width. So we sort of break those off and put them in that section. There's a metallic weft yarn, which gives it a nice sort of a glow. I would call this sort of a semi-opaque, as you still get quite a bit of light through them. Another unique product we have is a shear called Gradient Shear. So this is 118 inches wide. It actually comes off the bolt like this, so it's printed on this one side to the selvage. When you railroad it, you get this beautiful printed design at the bottom edge of the drapery. And we've had a lot of success with this pattern thus far. And we hope to see more from this supplier, featuring 5 colors here. With that, I'm going to show some of these new colored wide widths we just did recently, and just in solid colors. As you can see, they work rather well with gradient. And that's just to give you some examples of wide width. We hope that you'll come and visit us for them. There we go. Going back to the wings, I touched on something called the Platinum Collection. The Platinum Collection is the exclusive collection that we carry and offer. They're German imports. There's a wool element involved, as well as some other yarn blends. But I'll show you the collection as it's shown here on our wings. So they go from wide width to these beautiful, once again, rather opaque adamas, for instance. This is called Philomena, which is a beautiful ombre stripe. We also do coordinating solids, once again, of a wool content. But their bread and butter are these beautiful horizontal stripes, which we have quite a few to offer. They're modern, they're chic, but they're also somewhat nautical in some cases. You get this beautiful gauzy linen ground. And these are some newer additions, a little bit more of a tighter horizontal stripe. With that being said, I'm just going to jump right down to another interesting part of the Platinum Collection. All the way at the very end of this bag, we have indoor-outdoor versions of those very stripes. Benefits are they're cleanable and they're not going to fade all that quick. In fact, they're fade resistant. And we have a number of really nice designs and offerings from that group there. And once again, this has been around for years. We've done quite well, and we're constantly building on the Platinum Collection. So that is our shear group in a nutshell. And then I'm going to take you over to indoor-outdoor. Okay, so continuing on here in the back room, as he pointed out, we have an extensive collection of indoor-outdoor fabrics. Another category that a lot of designers come to us for. And a large segment of that is made up of Sombrella product. And we've had a long withstanding relationship with Sombrella over the years, so we're lucky and fortunate enough to have a lot of these exclusive collections that we distribute here in the showroom and of our showrooms. The first one I'm going to touch down on is called the Pendleton Collection. If you're not familiar with that, Pendleton Company is a woolens company, historic woolens company from Oregon, and they do these iconic woolen blankets. For instance, this group here is called the State Park Series, which I'll touch down in a bit. But they're all based on these beautiful designs which have been reinterpreted by Sunbrella using their all-weather acrylics. I'm going to show just a few of these, and I'll kind of break them down on the table for you. As you can see, there's a definitive southwestern or Pacific northwestern feel to them, and they're absolutely beautiful. I'll show you here on the table. This group we just received from them recently. One of the designs, for instance, is called Tucson. So behind each of these patterns is a story. Tucson, for instance, is the indigenous Native American view of creation. There's a little bit more you can read up on our website if you'd like for each of these designs, so once again, the backstory. But I'll show you these state park stripes and how they work. So as I mentioned, each one signifies a different state park, and this is a reinterpretation of those very products. For instance, Yakima, this is the Grand Canyon. And once again, all in this all-weather acrylic, so people use these poolside, oceanside, lakeside, but there's a definitive meaning to them. These beautiful, what they call hero patterns, they're very, they're complex weaves, and they're absolutely beautiful. So folks use these for Adirondack chairs, poolside chaise, and we have a really great, had a great response to these. And this is something fun that might be fun for you to look up on our website, www.pindler.com. Look up Pendleton and you'll get all the backstories. Kiva Steps, for instance. Bit of a spiritual kind of a story behind that. So that sort of summarizes the Pendleton collection. Another group we did is a collaboration with a noted designer named Richard Vernier. Excuse me. He's based in Los Angeles. Richard is known for his resort, how should we say, his products. He designs furnishings for different seaside resorts and that kind of thing. And he has worked extensively with Sunbrella in the past, who in turn work with us. And this is one collection which we call Architecture. And each of these designs is based on Richard's interpretation of an architectural facade of a building. For instance, NYC, you get the idea with that one. Hexspace is his vision of some of these more metropolitan buildings you might find in Paris, but still have a classic element of architecture to them, hence the hexagonal windows. It goes on, and obviously these designs look from skyscrapers and tall buildings from afar. But it is, once again, Sunbrella all-weather acrylic, which means it's stain resistant, it's color fast, there's no issues there. And you can sit on it with salt water or anything you could possibly get on from outdoor living. So going on with that, so we have his collection here. This is the sort of the extent of it. There's some solids that coordinate. As we go further down, we start to get a little bit more of these more seaside designs. But this section here, as Yves touched down on, are all large scale and medium scale patterns. These are some solids which go specifically with our indoor-outdoor collection called Sunbelievable, a little bit of a different deal, more Sunbrella. These are some newer pieces from Sunbrella here. And then some real colorful items. So continuing on with our indoor-outdoor fabrics, directly across from the larger scale patterns, we have this entire section of indoor-outdoor upholstery weight, solids, textures. It includes velvets, for instance, chenille weaves. We have some small patterns near herringbones, for instance, to coordinate, just to give you some examples. A tweed, a little bit more of a textured feel here. This entire stand, and we ultimately end up with indoor-outdoor stripes, very popular category for us. Now we come to our print section of the showroom. It starts here with these smaller scale prints. These are basically designed on old historical prints using a block printing technique. They're essentially meant for layering, but they're very popular, and small scales are very hard to come by, so we have quite a few to offer. We lead down into what we call our Sheffield collection, similarly to the small scale. It's based on sort of historical ways of printing block prints, resist prints. Once again, all easy to use, very, very easy colors. And this is a very popular category that designers come to us for. One of the collections I want to touch on is an exclusive group we did called Printworks. Now, this is designed and developed by our design studio and our design team in Moore Park, California. And the gist of it is inspiration. Inspiration behind this was the iconic coast of California. So a lot of these designs resemble marine life and the ecology out there. We have sea stars. We have patterns derived from different sea life, sea sponges. The colors, like I said, are brighter, very inspiring. It's a cotton linen ground, predominantly printed on white. They're very, very pretty. We're constantly developing it. There's been 2 installments of this particular collection, so you're probably going to see more from this as we go through. Another exclusive release we just introduced were these patterns. Based on English design, they are imported from England, printed in England. We have Heritage and we have Jardiniere. Heritage kind of harkens back a bit to the William Morris kind of style of printing and inspiration. Obviously, these are leaning much more towards a contemporary kind of a interior with the color, the softening of the prints. This one similarly is kind of reminiscent of old field drawings of botanicals. Once again, you can see the change in the colors. It's really brought it up to date. And we really feel that these will kind of enhance a little bit more of a formal, contemporary, transitional setting. Just a couple examples of some of the exclusives that we worked in. As Yves mentioned earlier, this section spans down into more contemporary prints down this way, and it wraps around all the way here through botanicals right up into more traditional. So there's a lot to choose from. Once again, predominantly printed on cotton. We have a lot of them that have been printed, treated with a stain-resistant formula, which is included, and we do very well with our prints. So this section here is towards the front of the showroom. It features our faux leather and our vinyls collections. We've recently added to the collection. There's 5 or 6 new additions. For instance, this first one is called Feller. It's designed to look like a silk weave. Comes in a really nice color range. The one next to it, it's called Barons. On contrast to this, it's designed to look like a textured, kind of a slubbed fabric, solid fabric. Once again, a pretty extensive range of colors. Over here, we have Auger. And this has the look of a heavy woven solid linen. This is going to be very popular. I anticipate some folks probably using this for wall coverings. Once again, a pretty good extensive color range there. There's a couple more. We move down. We have here in the middle Chagrin, which is a pebbled texture, reminiscent of it's a classic design, kind of like a shark skin, they would call this. And next to it, we have Ambush, which is a solid classic grained faux cowhide. So now we return to the entrance of the showroom, where Yves started earlier. As she mentioned, this is where we feature our new collections as we release them. For example, this is a group we did not too long ago. It's called Casablanca, and it's just very simple, basic white upholstery and multi-purpose fabrics that we have treated once again, as I mentioned earlier, with the Easy Clean Nanotex treatment. They come in a sample book, but we group those together, and once again, they're right here as you enter the showroom to take a look at as we release a new product. These just came out recently. Some very colorful prints across from these decorative kind of whimsical shears, and these are all exclusive to Pindler. And we'll move on and take a look at a few more things. This came out not too long ago. These are these global inspired designs, somewhat of a Moroccan feel to this medallion. This is a coordinate, and it has these applique polka dots on it. There are actually 3 fabrics to this collection. This one on the reverse we call Jenna. It's this heavily woven, once again, kind of whimsically colored chevron pattern. This is done extremely well for us. This was something that came out right at the height of the COVID pandemic, and something that we did very well with in terms of Zoom presentations. And I think it was because it was so colorful and graphic. This is an ongoing collection called Wanderlust. These are some new additions that we put in not too long ago. This is called Jungle Book, and it's sort of a menagerie, if you will, on embroidery on linen. It comes in very bright, once again, vibrant colors and some neutrals. To finish up here, just to give you an idea of some of the new things, we just released this collection called Sedona, and they're linen rayon blends. It sort of captures the ambience of the Sedona Desert, so it's very subtle in terms of the shapes that you see, has a southwestern feel. The colors that they decided to use kind of capture some of the hues and colors you might see in the desert, sunsets and different things like that. So we have it in this rose color, a couple blues, turquoise, and then indigo. We've done pretty well. This is, like I said, this is something that can adapt to not just the southwestern feel, but also kind of get a French provincial kind of feel from some of the patterns in specific colors or certain colors. And these are the last 2 colors. Goldenrod and of course sand. So as you continue down this bay, you'll find new product. As we release it, we kind of shift it down and add it categorically back into the showroom. And then we once again enter global, down to upholstery, and the sections that we ran through earlier. So it's a pretty big collection, a pretty big section of our showroom. On behalf of Yve and Ginger, I want to thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to working with you here in our new showroom at the New York Design Center.